Claire. I'm just taking my socks off already. Good morning, my lovely. Great photo of you yesterday. Look at all those lovely comments you got. Well done. Just a joy to watch your journey. Thank you for letting Sarah and I be involved in it. It's what we love. Morning, Sue Harrington. Sue from sunny London. Good morning. Who else we got on? Ali is on, Sue is on, Brenda is on. Morning. So I did say I was going to stop singing, didn't I? I'm going to stop singing. Good morning. I don't know what's going on with my voice. Just seem to sing people's names. And hi Frida. Hi Claire. Oh, look at that, the two sisters together. Yay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Right, stop singing, Dion. Oh, can you please? Oh, there's a big fire going on over there. Can you see the smoke? I'm just going to show you outside my window. Can you see that smoke? Looks like they're doing some work on their plot. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. Yeah, I think you can. Right, let's sit you down. I just got very distracted by all the smoke out there then. Oh, don't get too close to the camera, Dion. Sorry about that. Sorry about the face. Morning, Anne McKenna. Nice to see you. Hi, Jill. Yeah, so not a lot of activity has been going on recently with the agricultural land around here, but obviously they've been given the all clear to go and do some stuff with their land. So lots of smoke out, and we're going to put the washing on today. It's going to get a bit smoky, isn't it? Right, how are we all today? How are we all doing? Time is it? Just on 10, 1 minute past. So just give it a couple more, just give it one more minute. So I want to know, morning Sue, hi Kate, I want to know who's been following these yoga classes, or maybe not just mine, maybe you're doing somebody else's classes, who has never done yoga before this lockdown. So if you're on here now and it's your first time, just tell me. If you're watching later and it's your first time with yoga, just tell me. Morning Sarah. I'm really interested to know who has started doing something new that they hadn't done. Yoga, obviously, in particular. I know a lot of people finding new things to do, going online and seeing what's available and doing things that maybe we've intended to do, but not had the confidence to go into a class. Morning, Tanya, you got us. Hi, Heather. Not had the confidence maybe to go into a classroom environment, either because you didn't think you were good enough or flexible enough, or some of these things, but you felt a bit more comfortable doing it at home, online. I get so many people saying, oh, I'd like to do yoga, but I'm just not flexible enough. For me, that is like saying, I'd really like to take a shower, but I'm too dirty. When you need something is when you should be doing it. So, as a teacher, we see so many people come into classes of so many different capabilities and abilities, and everyone is individual. Good morning, Jan. And there's no judgment. People aren't concerned about what other people are doing on the mat. And we're only concerned with our own practice. Yoga's a very personal thing, so it's not competitive. It shouldn't even be competitive within yourself. I know that you all have things that, I'd really want to do this and I really want to do that, and you set yourself these challenges. Morning, Jane. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on some technique. Now, I know some of you have just gone like, So Sue's first time doing yoga since she started. Right, and I wanted to do, and I know a couple of other people as well are watching, or who do follow, who've never done yoga before. So technique's really important, and because I'm not there with you, I can't see what's happening on your mat. So everyone's cross legs. I can't see what's happening on your mat. So you might be like, yeah, I did this yoga, it was great, moved. And what happens if we don't get technique right is at best, we don't get the full potential of our practice, we don't get the full benefits of our practice, and at worst we can cause ourselves some injury. When we start to really involve technique, when we start with our yoga practice, we start just moving and we're concerned about what foot goes where and what hand goes where and which way should I be looking and which way should I be facing. Once you understand the direction of where your body should be going, then you can start to focus on how it should be feeling and where you should be engaging and how to really open up and move into that posture to really get the full expression, the full benefit of the posture and how it should be feeling. This is why I've done some things against the wall, because that really gives you an understanding of how your posture should feel when you're free on the mat. So in week 1 I mentioned, oh, maybe we'll do a whole class of sun salutation. That's what we're going to do today. Okay, sorry. Okay, because I did have someone comment yesterday, they sent me a message after class and said, you know, I'm still struggling with that step through from downward dog, bringing the leg back through to the top of the mat. Is there any techniques, anything, any tips you can do to help? Yes, there is. And I thought actually we really do need to cover the whole sun salutation and explain, because the sun salutation is a sequence of postures that are linked together to form a flow. Now, I always take my sun sals really slow, particularly the first few rounds when I'm teaching, to really get you to try and feel that posture. But actually they are meant to be very fluid, and you're not meant to hold a posture more than an in or out breath. So you inhale into a posture, you exhale into another posture. I know, Sarah, yeah, I get it. But it's those times when you're in, rather than just letting momentum carry you through, it's really been understanding how that moment is meant to feel. So let's get on our mats and do some sun salutation. One bit of sun and Dion goes mad, yeah, the sun's out, let's do some sun salutations. Maybe it'll help, maybe if we just do like a whole class of sun sals, then the sun might stay out for a bit longer. Okay, so we are going to start on the mat. Now, I'm going to start with the technique of the flow. Alright, and you might think, oh, the flow's really easy, we've been doing it every morning, more or less. But I know what happens is when we flow and we come down, I know that a lot of you are going to be locking these legs and we're going to be rounding in the back, and this is how we come up. Right, this is not what we want to do. So, we're going to start hands together. So your feet are hip distance, small space between the feet. So imagine these hip bones, your thigh bones connect straight down underneath, down into your ankles. So we're going to bring hands together. So this is a posture. Every time we bring our hands together is a mudra. It's about energy connection. So make this firm. You don't just want to stand there like this. Engage, shoulders back and down, thumbs towards the breastbone. Feel that connection with the fingertips, with the heels of the hands, the circumference of the hands. We're engaging the legs, so you're pushing down to the floor, you're lifting up the thighs, pelvic floor, belly is in, and we inhale to take that big opening down, out, and up to the sky. Big breath in. We exhale to take it forward, fold forward, hands to the floor. Now notice as I'm folding forward, the knees are bent and the bottom is coming high. So you feel a stretch at the hamstring. Maybe you don't get all the way to the floor, so it's better to be here. When you come halfway up, think about the shoulder blades. Shoulder blades come back towards the hips and we extend out of the top of the head. Flat back. Notice these legs haven't changed. We've still got softness in these legs, we haven't straightened them. The next exhale we have, we let that exhale draw us down to the floor. There's no change in the bend of these knees, the bum is still high. Your next inhale, you push down into the floor. Now this is what happens when people come up, they straighten the legs and they lead with the centre of the back. It's not what we want to do. Legs stay the same angle. Lift this heart, lead with your heart. This is what I say when I'm in class. Lead with your heart. Eyes look forward, heart lifts forward. Imagine someone's pulling you up from the chest. Push down into the feet. Someone's pulling you up. You come all the way up to the top. And you exhale, hands back together. Inhale, down, out and up. Exhale, fold to the floor. Push into those feet. Push the bum away. Close as you can to the floor. Keep those knees bent. Halfway up, you take the shoulders back and the heart leads forward. You think your spine is being pulled. One end back, the other end forward. The next exhale is going to take you over towards the floor. Inhale, you have to use your leg strength, otherwise you're going to put pressure on your back. You push down into the floor. Feel those legs engaged. Lift up, reach those arms out to the sides, all the way to the top. Exhale back to the heart. We're just going to do one more. Inhale, down, out and up, big circle. Exhale, sweep it down to the floor, bend the knees, push the bum away, nice flat back. Halfway up, shoulders come back, heart comes forward. Feel that spine lengthen. Next exhale, allow yourself to soften all the way over. Inhale, you push down into the floor, you lead with your heart, you come all the way to the top. Exhale back to the heart. Okay, so it's this posture more that I'm thinking of. So when we come up and down, think flat back. Don't want to lose your belly, you don't want to round in the spine. Okay, bum is high, belly is in, and we lift the chest. Okay, so moving into our sun salutations. So you're going to be facing the short edge of your mat. Up at the top of the mat, you want all this space behind you. Okay, hands together. So start in action. We breathe in, we breathe out, connect with the breath. Hands stay together as we inhale and lift up to the sky. And as you lift up, you're taking a little back bend. So this comes from the knees, and feel like your rib cage lifting, extending through the top of the sternum. And exhale, fold forward, same thing, but you're going to reach your arms forward. Hands come apart, palms facing each other, bum comes out, hands down to the floor, and the hands come either side of the feet. So your hands drop shoulder distance apart. Okay? You bend your knees as much as you need to. So if you need to be down here to get the hands on the floor, this is where you are. Some of you will be able to take longer legs. Right leg is going to step as far away as you can. Now you take it back, toes to the floor, but then you need to take that little wiggle. So some of you will be able to step all the way back in one go. Others of you won't. So you're going to take a wiggle, wiggle and shuffle. Bring the knee to the floor. Now if you've dropped that knee down and your front knee is all the way over your toes like this is not what we want. In a lot of the old pictures you will see sun salutations done like this. This is not too bad, and some people will teach like this. I personally advise to come back with that knee. So you're not putting pressure on this knee joint. It's okay if it's a little bit in front of the ankle, but you don't want it really far over. So I kind of think if you try and line up knee over ankle, then you're going to be in a safe place to be. You want to feel there's an opening here. So if this back knee is under your hip, you're not going to feel any stretch in your quads or your hip flexors. So you want to take that back knee further away. It might be here, you might feel it here. You might need to come further back. Those toenails are flat on the floor. We let those hips sink down, we extend through the spine, lift through the crown of the head. Okay. To come into plank, we tuck the back toes, we lift the knee, we step the left foot back to the right. So you need to give yourself some height to get this foot through. Now, you can try and drag it through, which is what happens sometimes, but we need to give height, so watch. Bum lifts up. You need to create space between the floor and the body to bring that foot back. So to step back into plank, we have to lift up, lift that foot, and then step it back and lower the hips down into plank. Hands haven't moved. Since we place the hands on the floor to start, they don't move position. The hands stay exactly where they land. Okay, this is that funny one. So, when we come down, knees, chest and chin, this is what happens. Knees, and then people struggle, the elbows come out to the side, the heart comes down here, the head is by the hands, and they end up in this position like this, which is very uncomfortable. There's a little technique, right, from your plank posture. It's all to do with the feet. You can see my feet at the moment, so I'm up on my toes. What I'm going to do before I lower down is push my feet forward, so lift my heels even higher is going to bring my shoulders forward. See that? Bring the shoulders in front of the wrists, then drop the knees, then pull up the belly. Elbows are squeezing into the rib cage as we drop the heart and chin. See the bum is still in the air. On the floor, chest, hands and chin on the floor. Okay, going to try that again. If we're in a classroom, we're all doing it right. So we're in plank, this little movement forward, lift the heels, shoulders in front of the wrists, then drop the knees, pull up the belly, bum is to the sky, squeeze those elbows in, heart to the floor, chin to the floor. From here, again, cobra. There's a little technique, so rather than just lowering your hips down, which then when you lift into cobra, you're going to cause some tension and tightness in the lower back there. We don't want that. So we've lowered the chest. Instead of just dropping your hips, slide your heart forward. So intentionally, you're trying to drag your hands back towards your hips, but they're stuck on the mat. So you're going to try and drag your hands back, your heart slides forward, then your hips lower and you come up. So it's cobra, it's a snake, it's like that sliding action as a snake lifts his head. So from knees, chest, chin, toes are tucked under. I'm going to push into those toes, drag those hands down, heart slides forward and peel up into cobra. In your cobra, your elbows are drawn into your waist, your neck is long, your shoulders are down. So this is more like a workshop class today. This is a technique workshop if you've just joined in. So in your cobra, toes are on the floor, pelvis is down into the floor, the pubic bone, the front of the hips. We're lengthening through the spine, shoulder blades are drawing down towards the hips. Neck is long. We're still breathing, by the way. Please do breathe. It's really important. And from cobra, we tuck the toes. We push down into the toes and the hands. And we come to our downward facing dog. So we lift the knees. Bum is high. Spine is long. Again, our hands have not moved. Our hands are exactly where they are when we first place them on the floor. So in this upside down V, which is your downward facing dog, and I've talked about hand placement before, so I'm not going to go too much into that. But you need to make sure that the circumference of your palm is on the floor and this part between the thumb and the index finger is pressing down onto the floor as well. Drawing that little finger in a little bit is going to take some weight from the outside of your wrist up to your shoulder. So that's a really good technique for that. We're in downward dog. So here, we've got some actions going on. Because we're pressing down with the inside of the thumb and the index finger, the lower arm is turning in. But we want to open up the shoulder so the upper arm turns out at your tricep. This muscle at the back of the arm turns out and down towards the floor. Then we can feel those shoulder blades spreading across the back. The most important thing in your downward dog is not getting your heels to the floor, it's length of your spine. So bend those knees, lift your bum, push into the hands, feel the length of the spine, and then see if you can drop your knees towards the floor. Now mine aren't quite touching yet. First sun salutation of the day. My hamstrings and calves are tight, so they're not quite on the floor. The other problem we have here is people they try and get chest to thighs and they push their belly out towards their thighs. You want to keep active in your belly, in the front of your body. So your belly is drawing in, your upper abdominals are active, your rib cage is drawing in. So you don't want this kind of look in the spine. We're working the belly, so we're lengthening. Come down onto knees, take the bum to the heel, stretch it out. Because I know you've been there for a few minutes and some of you will have stopped breathing. So, right, here was the question, the step through from downward dog, the big one. Yes, there is technique. Okay. I'm going to move forward a bit so you can see the feet. Hopefully you can see the feet. Let's turn that round a bit. Let's turn that round a bit. Okay, hopefully you can get feet in. Sorry about the close-up of the face, I do apologise. So pretend my hands haven't moved. My hands are in exactly the same place. We're in our downward dog. Are you here with me? Okay, in order to get this leg all the way up, this happens. We step through, we get stuck. Yeah, how many of you done this? And then it's like, oh, and you've got to bring this knee down and work it through. And that's fine. That is a great place to be. As long as this foot gets back up the mat, that is excellent. But we want to work harder. The same as when we step back into plank, you need to create space to be able to bring that leg through. Okay, if your hips are too low, there is no way, I can only get my foot to here. Your hips are too low. So you need to create space. So we come really high on those toes. See how high the hips lift? I lift my heels, push down in my toes. See how much more space I've created underneath? And then you have to use your abdominal muscles. It's not enough just to use momentum. You really have to use your abdominal muscles to zip up and draw that thigh up into the chest and the rib cage. So it's very active. So if we do this in slow motion, yeah, you're going to love that. Come up onto the toes really high. Lift this thigh up into the belly. This is your abdominal muscles working. You have to keep this height. Now I'm going to come up onto my right fingertips as I step through, just to create some height under my arm. So you're going to inhale as we step that leg all the way through to the top. Ah, did anyone get there for the first time? So we're just going to try that one more time. Step it again back into your downward dog. Soften the knees, lift the bum, shoulders back. Okay, heels are towards the floor. Now I'm going to lift up those heels, come all the way up onto the toes, engage the belly, engage those core muscles, look towards your hands. If you look down into the centre of your mat, that's where your foot is going to end up. So you look forward towards the hands, step it through. Whoa, anyone get there? Let those hips sink down. Boy, I'm knackered. It's my neighbour. My neighbour's just stopped outside for a chat. Okay, tuck the toes, lift the knee, step it forward into your forward fold. Fold deep. How do we come up from here? Most of you, I'm going to step back a bit, most of you will round up the shoulders. This is not what we want. We are going to look forward, we're going to lift the heart, shoulders are back, and then we're going to bring the hands together, and exactly the way we came up in our flow, you're going to lead with your heart. Inhale all the way to the top, lift those arms to the sky, hands come back down, and we reach down to the thighs. Into Tadasana, mountain pose. So when we do our mountain pose, again our feet are pushing into the floor, we're engaging up through the legs, pelvic floors lifting, belly zipped in, hands reaching down. And it's just an exhale. You are literally going to be there for an exhale, but you want to feel a whole body engagement in your exhale. Now, if you're stronger in your practice and you're strong in your back, when you come up from your forward fold, you can take this a little bit further. So if your back is quite weak, please don't try this because it is harder. But say we're in our forward fold here. Now I've just said to you, bring the hands together, lift the chest. Yeah, it's bringing that closer to the body so it's a little bit easier. One other thing to note, if you do have any lower back issues, please always, always, always have your knees bent when you're coming in and out of a forward fold. Okay, always. For some reason I noticed that people with tight hamstrings and lower back problems always want to lock their knees when they come in and out, and they always roll up. So always keep your knees bent. Okay, so the harder version, if you're strong, if you've been practicing for a while, when we come up from this forward fold, you're going to sweep the arms forward. So the arms, the upper arms are coming in line with the ears. You're going to pull up your belly, and the whole of your body from your hips to your fingertips comes up in one movement. So we've lengthened, so we've created a stronger pose. So you might want to try that if you haven't before. So from your forward fold, find the place that's best for you. Inhale, either your hands come into your chest or the arms sweep forward, pull in the belly, look towards your hands, push into your feet, engage your bum. Exhale, hands, come back down, got hair in my mouth. Tadasana. Fingers reaching towards the floor. Inhale, palms together. Exhale. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Feel a whole body stretch out front of the body. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the floor. So knees are bent as much as they need to be. Your hands either side of your feet. Left foot, step into the back of your mat as far as it will go. I've got hair in my mouth. As far as it will go. And then bring that left knee to the floor. Lengthen the spine, lift through the crown of the head. Notice how it feels this side. Maybe your knees further back. Maybe it's a bit further forward. Oh, there's my lovely friend Anna Batterley is on. Hello, Anna. Okay, lengthen the spine. Lift through the crown of the head. Stepping back into your plank. Tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, hands on the floor. Need to create some space, lift the bum to step it back. So hands haven't moved, shoulders over wrists, engage through the arms. So you want stability in your shoulders here. So your upper arms again are turning back. So you're trying to close this space in the armpit by turning this upper arm back and down. So you feel the shoulder blades spread across the back and you've got more stability around those shoulders there. Okay, so remember this little tip to come down to the floor. We push into the toes, bring the shoulders in front of the wrists, drop the knees down, squeeze those elbows in as if you're trying to squeeze your rib cage, pull the belly up, let the heart come down between the hands. So we've got this little space underneath the hips. We've got toes on the floor, knees on the floor, heart, hands and chin. For your cobra, as you inhale, you're going to slide your heart forward. Your head and heart comes forward. Your hips come to the ground. We press into the hips. We lift the chest. Okay. We tuck the toes. And we lift the hips into our downward facing dog. So bend your knees first, push your chest towards your thighs, lift your hips high, upper arms towards the floor. Few breaths. So we're going to step through with the left leg. So we need to come high, create space between the floor and your belly. So look at this difference, heels are towards the floor. Press into the toes, lift the heels, look at all that space I've just created to get the leg through. Abdominal muscles need to activate. So you're going to lift that left leg, draw the thigh up into the belly, knee towards the chin, and then keeping that thigh towards the belly, step through. What happens, I'm going to do this so you can see, people get up here, and then as they step through, they release. Can't release. You need to keep that thigh high and keep it high all the way through. You can bring it high, but if you let it go before the step through, you're going to end up in the same position. So we're high, left leg. Step it to the top. Right knee down. Lengthen the spine, lift through the crown of the head. So there's your two main points for your step through from your downward dog. Is A, the height that you can give between the floor and the belly, and that zip up of the abdominal muscles, the activation in your abdominal muscles to keep your thigh in towards your chest as you then release from the knee forward into your step through. But please also remember that not everybody's hips are going to be designed in that way. So my left side, I always have a little swing out, called like a little doggy kick out on my left side, because my left hip isn't quite as open as my right hip. So that step through is a little bit more difficult. It's got better over the years, but I've now been practicing yoga for 25 years or something. So, and it's not perfect, right? Because it's not yoga perfect, it's yoga practice. Okay, don't forget that. So your body shape will be different and your hips are different shapes on both sides. And sometimes the socket joint, your hips are ball and socket, sometimes this socket joint is tight around the ball, so there's not as much movement. Our hips are designed to move in all of this way. But if your socket joint sits tighter, snugger around that ball, it's not going to have as much movement. So with your physical body, with your anatomical body, it just may not be designed to get that step through. But please don't use that as an excuse. Keep practicing, keep practicing. Okay, we hold still here. Tuck the toes, lift the knee, step it forward. I've just slid my foot back so I can stay in camera. A little space between the feet. Now bring it up in any way that you feel more confident. So feet down into the floor, your knees are soft. Arms sweep forward, belly is in, inhale all the way to the top. Exhaling, hands down to your Tadasana mountain pose. Okay, we're going to do both sides, right side and left side, one full round in the speed that a sun salutation is meant to be in. And during that speed, I want you to think about your alignment and your engagement. Okay, this is the speed, we're just working with the breath. Step into the top of your mat if you've moved away. This is also what happens if you don't bring your feet back up to where you've placed your hands. If you move your hands back to your feet, you're going to end up off your mat. Okay, so that's why the hands stay in position and we move the feet towards the hands, not the hands back towards the feet. Nice and tall, Tadasana pose. Hands together, inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to the floor. Right leg stepping back, knee down, spine lengthening. Left leg stepping back to plank. Shoulders over wrists. Knees down, belly up, chest down. Inhale for your cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg to step to the top of your mat. Left knee down. Left leg stepping forward, forward fold. Inhaling all the way up, hands in or arms extended, whichever feels better for you. Exhale, Tadasana mountain pose. Inhale, palms together. Exhale. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg to step back, knees down and extend. Right leg to step back to plank. Knees drop, chest drops, inhale, cobra, exhaling, downward dog. Left leg to step forward, right leg to step forward, inhaling all the way to the top, exhaling, Tadasana. Okay, sun salutations done. I would advise you, if you've not, even people who've been practicing yoga for years, people who've been coming to class for years, do still struggle with some of the techniques in our sun salutation. So this video is going to be here like forever, so you can always drop in and say, what's she talking about? And if there's anything you don't understand, please do drop it in the comments or send me a message, and I'll try and explain in a little bit more detail on a one-to-one. Let's stretch some stuff out. So standing, feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Take these arms over the head, take hold of the elbows. Bend those knees, push the bum away, let the belly and chest come down onto the thighs and just hang there for a moment. Few breaths. Also interested to know what you thought about the speed of that last sun salutation. Was that what you expected? Is that how you normally practice? And if there was any tips in there that you found valuable, it'd be really good for me to know, so that I can, you know, it just helps with my teaching, the feedback I get back from people. So please do drop me any feedback. Okay, bring those hands to the floor, step the feet back, come down onto your knees, bum to heel, stretch those arms forward, forehead towards the floor. Make this active, so don't just relax over the elbows down, really reach those arms forward, bum dropping back, let the head come between the arms. A few breaths here. Walk those hands back towards the knees, lift the head, lift the chest, and come over onto the bum. And we're going to take Baddha Konasana, feet together, soles of the feet together, holding the ankles or the feet, wherever you feel comfortable, and just give those knees little flaps. It's like a butterfly pose. And then you can stay here if you're already, if this is already feeling a bit icky for you, you're feeling really tight in the hips, you can stay here, just flapping the wings of your butterfly, or take hold of your feet, thumbs to the inside of the big toes, and open your feet up like a book, so the soles of your feet are coming up towards the sky. Lengthen the spine, shoulders are back. Notice just when you turn your feet out like this, your knees drop a little bit closer towards the floor. So this small action in the feet causes a big reaction in the hips. With your exhale, you're going to fold forward. So you're not trying to bring your head to the floor. You're trying to bring your rib cage towards your feet, your chest towards your toes, your chin over the top. What's Ali say? Glad you didn't see that. Lengthen the spine. Next, inhale, coming all the way up. Take those legs out wide. So your wide legs might be here, they might be a bit further away. Knees are facing towards the sky, so I want the knees rolling in, the knees are up, the toes are up, we're pushing out through the heels, lengthening through the spine, through the top of the head. Take a breath in and exhale and start to fold forward. So you might have your hands on the floor here, and that might be just where you're going to stay today. That might be enough. Or you can take another exhale, come a little bit lower. A few breaths. So the sun salutation, I don't say it a lot, yoga warm-up. So, you know, often I do some things before a sun salutation, hips a little bit more over the back, but cells are used as your yoga warm-up because you don't do anything. But they get the circulation moving. Hopefully in that last one you'd have felt the heart rate picked up a little bit. Maybe the breath starts to become a little bit faster. So it's really good to increase the circulation, the lymphatic flow. We've got hip openers in there, we've got forward folds, we've got back bends, so they open up all the major joints in the body. They work all the major muscles in the body, so they are really your all-over practice. What they don't do is open up the inside of the thighs, and we don't have a twist in there either, so we're going to finish off with a seated twist. So on your next inhale, we're going to walk the hands back towards the body, lift the head and the chest, take hold of those knees from the inside, rock back on your sit bones, take hold underneath those knees, bring the legs together. And we're going to straighten that left leg out in front, bring that right heel in. What your sun cells also do, if you're into energy and familiar with chakras, they stimulate all 7 chakras of the body, so it's a good chakra balance as well in your sun cells. So this left leg is active, heel away, toes up, right heel is pulled in towards the sit bone, lengthen the spine. So before you take any twist or any kind of action with the spine, we always want to think about length. You don't want to move the spine if it's compressed. So we lift up. Left arm around that right leg, right hand behind. Unless you have any abdominal problems, so if you had recent abdominal surgery or you're pregnant, not that being pregnant is a problem, I don't mean to associate those 2 words. So, but if you have anything going on in the abdomen area, you've got ulcers or hernias, then you're going to twist away from your bent knee. So you're always going to keep that while still getting the twist. If we twist towards that bent knee. So the spine is long and you start to move the belly towards that thigh, the left side of the rib cage, the left side of the chest, the left shoulder, and the chin comes to look over the right shoulder. We take a few breaths here. So every inhale, feel your spine lengthening as if you're being lifted up from the top of your head, and every exhale, see if you can twist a little bit. You look behind if it feels okay in your neck. If it doesn't feel okay in your neck, just let your neck be loose. Okay. And just to remind you, so we just had extension of lockdown in Spain, and we're going to be locked down till the 9th of May. So these classes will continue until our lockdown's finished. So we're here every Monday to Friday, the same time, 9 o'clock UK, 10 o'clock Spain, Monday to Friday. Saturday we have a day off, and Sunday afternoon we have our yin practice, 5:30 UK, 6:30 in Spain. Release the neck, the shoulders, the chest, the ribs. Release that leg out in front. Maybe that right leg's a bit longer than your left leg now. Pull in your left knee, lengthen up. Right arm wraps around, left hand to the back, and lengthen the spine. So I'm almost trying to lift my bum off the floor here to be as tall as possible, and then start to twist. Twist from your waist. So you want the hips to stay level, but you twist from the belly button if you like. Belly button, ribs, chest, shoulders, and then the head looks over that back shoulder if it feels comfortable. Your right leg stays active. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean to say it's not involved in your posture. So your right leg's active, toes are up, thighs engaged. Remember, your inhale extends the spine, your exhale twists a little bit deeper. Release the head, the shoulders, the chest. Come back to center, release that leg. Come down onto the floor, give those knees a hug in, have a little rock side to side. Just feel the back of the hips into the floor. Just give the spine and the muscles in the back a little bit of a massage. And then here, if you're taking your Shavasana, your relaxation, straighten those legs out down to the floor, let the arms relax down by the sides, close the eyes and take a few moments for your Shavasana. If you're going to come up to seated, let's bend the knees, gently roll over onto one side. We always try and roll over onto the right when we're coming out of our yoga practice, and we roll over to the left when we're coming out of a yin practice. It's to do with the energy flow, our yin and yang. So if we've come up to seated, please stay in your Shavasana if you want to be there a bit longer. Come up to seated, just going to take the hands together. And take an inhale, reach them out and up. Exhale, bring the thumbs to the heart. Inhaling, reaching out and up. Exhale, thumbs to the heart. One more time, inhale, out and up. Exhale, thumbs to the heart. Taking a moment for your gratitudes, first and foremost to yourself, to your yoga practice, to someone or something in your life that you feel grateful for today. And I am grateful for each and every one of you that is still coming along to join in the classes. Thank you for your feedback, thank you for your messages and your photographs and everything that's going along with this. You inspire me to get up every morning and give me some structure to my day, so that is a blessing. So I'm grateful to all of you. Please let me know if you found this helpful. I know some of you will be like, oh God, Salutations boring. Or if you found it helpful, if there's any particular tips that you'd not heard of before that you found helpful, or if there's anything that you didn't understand, and we can have a chat about that. So tomorrow is our Friday flow. Well done, Claire. Yeah, tomorrow's our Friday flow, so we're going to be doing a little bit of flowing tomorrow. So I shall see you on the mat at 10 o'clock. Have a beautiful day. Stay healthy and happy. Namaste. Thank you for all your love hearts.